Good morning. Well, it's morning here in Florida anyhow. Welcome to Flash's Flash Lab. Today I'm going to show you how to use some advanced techniques for changing tool bits during your cuts. To do this, of course, we need to make some changes to our machine. We need to add a fixed plate and a movable plate to the machine, and we need some software that's capable of controlling the probe inputs, which are connected to the fixed and movable plates. So just to give you a quick look at the hardware change, over here on the far right side I have installed a small aluminum fixed plate, and I've also added a couple of banana plugs over on the left side of the machine. The black one is electrical ground, and the one on the red probe is the probe input to the controller board. Now I have a Bosch Pony router, which the bit is electrically isolated, so you cannot attach a ground wire to anywhere on the router, like for an example on the screw up here. It's not connected electrically to the bit. So what we've had to do to get around that is to just use an alligator clip, which we will attach to the clip it right onto the bit when it's doing operations that require locating the fixed plate and the movable plate. So our movable plate, I just took a piece of balsa and a piece of scrap metal that I had and attached the ground wire to that, so we can actually place the movable plate right under the bit here, and have the bit come down and measure the top of that plate. Now in the software itself, we have and I'm using a screenset called Mach 2010, but over in the ToolChanger screenset we have a place up here where we can put plate thickness. And so the plate thickness of that piece of movable plate is 0.1670. My fixed plate Y is located 26.650 on the Y-axis, and I've set up a clearance plane to be 1 inch above the table, and that's the clearance is where I'm going to run the Y gantry back and forth and the X gantry back, or the X axis back and forth. And I've also checked manual spindle control. Now, as you can see from the settings here, I've not the machine is not zeroed, but we're going to do that next. But let me do this. Let me get the camera over here on the tripod. First thing I want to do is turn the machine on. Now you'll notice I have switches on here for emergency stop, for my power, for my spindle, and for my vacuum. So we're going to turn on the power, and then we're going to enable emergency stop, and then we're going to reset the machine. So for that, I'm going to go over here to the interface. Up in the upper right hand corner of this screen set is a reset button, and what I want to do now is reference all home. That's this little icon up here. What that's going to do is it's going to now wait a minute, what have I done here? Yes, we want let's start over here again. I wanted to turn the power off. I wanted to have my gantry over here in the far right hand position. This is going to be my machine 0 reference point right here. So let's see if we can see. Yeah, I have added a home switch, micro switch over here. So I'm just going to move the gantry down a little bit. Now we're going to turn the machine on and enable our emergency stop. And then we want to go over to here and we want to do a reference all home. And what that's going to do is bring the gantry up and 0 the X and the Y. And it's going to bring it up to the home switch. So when it hits the home switch, it knows it's where it belongs. Oops, I got my E-stop here. Let's do a reset. And then we'll do reference all. And so now you can see we are at the top and we're at the right side. Now we have two sets of numbers here. One is the machine coordinates and one is the work coordinates. So I want all these things to be 0. So now I've cleared everything out. The next thing I want to do is I want to measure. I want to set the machine up and calibrate it so that it knows where the real 0 is on my work surface. So there's an icon over here called tool change. So this will take me to the tool change position, which is x-axis 0 and y is 12 inches out and z is at 0, which is right where it is now. So we're gonna move to the tool change position, and as you can see, we've moved to the center of the machine. That's where we can measure our tools. So the first thing I want to do here is put our movable plate in position and attach our ground wire to the bit, because the next step I want to do is tell the machine to find out where the fixed plate and the movable plate are, so that it knows where all the references are. So what we've done here is click the button for doing that. It's going to lower the gantry till it hits the movable plate, and then it's going to back it off and come back down real slow. Now it's going to raise up to the clearance plane and move over to the left side of the machine and go back down again until it hits the fixed plate over on this side. And it moves back to the clearance plane and takes me back to the tool change position. Now the machine knows where all of the positions are, so that it can do all of its calculations. And let's see if we can get you in here and see what it tells you. And I'm having problems with my focus on the camera. Let's try. There we go. So it says material offset is now calculated in inches. And we can remove our alligator clips here. And at this point I'm going to send the gantry back to the park position, I guess. The park position is defined in here somewhere. Limits, offsets, tool change. Oh, that's a tool change. Jog. I forgot where the park position is. Anyhow, we're going to go back to the park. Alright, so now we know that the position of the gantry right now is on the right hand side of the machine. The Z is 2.6719 above the top of the material, and my X and Y are at 0. For the part that I'm going to cut, I need to now move my gantry over above the work area where I want it to cut. So I'm just going to move the gantry over to the left. So this will be the starting position that I want, and I'm going to clear the work coordinates for the y-axis because I've moved in 1.5 inches roughly. But my machine coordinates still show that I'm a plus 1.47 from the right hand side. At this point I'm going to load some software in here, some G-code rather, and the material that I'm cutting today is MDF, and I'm cutting a bit plate, which is going to be a holder for Sharpie markers and some different bits that I use. So I'm going to be using 3 different bits during this tool cutting operation. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch bit to cut some of these big circles. I'm going to drill some 1/8 inch holes for my normal 1/8 inch bits, and I'm also going to drill some 1/4 inch holes for my 1/4 inch bits, and then I'm going to cut the whole thing out with a 1/16 inch bit. So at this point we're ready to go ahead and start, and we're going to do, the first thing it's going to do is another tool change. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll go to the run mode and do cycle start. Okay, so what is going on right now is we've just moved the tool we've moved the gantry to the tool change position, and it wants us to change bits. Now I already have the 1/8 inch bit in there, which is the first bit that we're going to be using, so I really don't need to do that. But what the software over here has done is says press cycle start after tool change. So we've now changed the tool, and if you'll notice my spindle is turned off right now. I have not turned that on yet. Normally the machine, the software over here will tell me when to turn the spindle on, but I'm going to go ahead and do that just to make sure that I know that it's on before I do any moves. Okay, and once we get over here to start cutting, I want my vacuum on. So we'll turn that on now. And now we can go over here and press cycle start. I forgot it needs to go over here and do another it needs to go over and find the Z-axis. I got a little ahead of myself. So what I did is I turned the spindle off. I attached my alligator clip. Let this go back to 0. And now it says I can start my spindle. I got a little ahead of myself. So now I can start the spindle and press OK to continue. We take our alligator clip off, and we turn our spindle and vacuum back on. So as you can see, we have now moved to the tool change position because it wants me to put in a different bit at this point. And let's just take you back over here and show you what that looks like on the screen. So it says to press cycle start after the tool change. So right now it's waiting for me to change bits. The bit it wants me to put in here is a 1/4 inch bit. So at this point we're going to change bits. Let's go back over here. And just to be really safe, I'm going to actually turn the power off on, I've got it in two places. I've got it on a toggle switch on the front panel, and I'm also turning it off on the machine. And I'm going to put in my 1/4 inch bit. Take the 1/8 inch bit out here, and this is our 1/4 inch end mill. Oops, I have to take out the 1/8 inch collet that is used for the smaller bits. And we can put this back in. Okay, the machine does not know where 0 is because we just changed bits. Now it needs to figure out the new bit position. So we're going to put our movable plate back into position here, and we're going to attach the alligator clip to electrically connect the bit to the software so we can measure this. And it says to press cycle start after tool change. Now what it's going to do is bring the bit down. It's going to measure the movable plate, and then it's going to go back over to the fixed plate position again. No, it's not. I may not do that because it already knows what the fixed is. So it's just going to do this operation. So I'm going to press cycle start. Oh, I see. It's going. It's going back over to the fixed position first. Did I? Okay, so I was wrong. It doesn't go to the movable. It just goes to the fixed. All right, so now we can take our clip off there. So now we're positioned back over our work where we left off before, and over here on the screen we've got a window here that says start spindle, then press OK to continue. So that's what we're going to do next. Now remember, I've turned it off in two places. So the first place I got to turn it back on is at the is up here on the machine itself with the power on off switch. There we go. And this is our spindle power, and it's going to get a little noisy here. I'm also going to turn on my vacuum, and there's my spindle. Now we're ready to start cutting our 1/4" bit holes. Now we're cutting the holes for the Sharpie marker. Alright, we've moved back to the tool change position because it wants us to change to the 1/16 inch bit. And let me just put this on pause for a second. Alright, so we've got everything shut off. We want to change bits to the 1/16 inch bit now. Of course, when we go to the 1/16 inch bit, we've got to put our collet back in place. So we'll put our 1/8 inch collet in here. And then we're going to pick this 1/16 inch bit. And let's get this on first. Alright, so now we've changed bits to our 1/16 inch bit. Again, we're going to need to attach the alligator clip to the bit, because we're going to go back over to the fixed plate again. Alright, we can change the tool. So we'll go back over and locate the fixed plate. Going back over to my work area, and we can remove the alligator clip now. And again, we have the message over here that says start the spindle, and we're ready to continue. So first thing I do is turn the power on the router, and then I'm going to turn the switch on over here and turn on my vacuum again. My vacuum is not doing a great job. I do have another vacuum over here. Just to kind of tidy things up a little bit. Okay, so now we'll turn on our vacuum from the hose, and now we're going to spindle power back on, and we're ready to continue setting. Particular cut operation is going to do multipass 9 steps. And I see my Z-axis didn't start out quite at 0 there, or the rollers were a little off-centered. Yep. So they're not exactly pause this right now because this is kind of boring, and we'll come back when the job is finished. Alright, we just finished the cut. Move our gantry up and out of the way. I'll get our part out here, and let's vacuum up the the dust that we Alright, so here you have the, well, let's just take the camera off the tripod. We're not getting along very well with that. Here's our part that we've just built that has positions for 1/8 inch bits, 1/4 inch bits, and Sharpie markers. So here we have some Sharpie markers. They're going to go in there like that. Let's see what we've got. Where'd my 1/4 inch bit go? Let's see. Here we go. 1/4 inch bit. Just put the camera down. I can't get to that. Alright, here's our 1/4 inch bit, and as you can see, it fits snugly right there in the hole that it drilled for itself. And then let's see, we got okay, here's our 1/8 inch bits. Well, here we go. There's our 1/8 inch bits, and those go in there like that. Alright, now the next video we're going to do is going to cover CAM/BAM and how we set up the screen set to do this tool change operation, and how we use SketchUp to export DXF files into CAM/BAM, and how we set this particular file up. So thanks for watching, and with that we're going to close till we get the next video ready. We put a